What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Horror Heads podcast. I am Rich Mallory here with my co-host Jerry Lorenko.
What's up?
Doing well tonight. Excited to start drinking and start talking about some movies. You can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us to horrorheadspodcast at gmail.com. Like, subscribe to all of the things. We are available wherever podcasts are, whether you're listening to this or watching us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you tell all your friends. Every little bit helps. Let's see. Tonight, to celebrate Women's History Month, we are doing Women in Horror, where we're going to focus on female directors for the two films that we picked. We are going to be doing from 2012, American Mary, directed by the Soska Sisters, and we're going to be doing a French film, Revenge, from 2017, which was directed by Coralie Fargeat. I believe I pronounced that correctly. And that is the director who also did The Substance. So really excited to get into both of these films. Lots to cover tonight. Yeah. Both of these films, so two very different films. American Mary's and Revenge are very different. Both do kind of have some sexual assault in the films, which is a bit hard to watch. So viewer discretion advised. You know, I'm going to give these two movies a pass because they were both written and directed by females, and these are the stories that they would like to tell. But you know what? I really would like to see some female revenge movies that sexual assault is not the catalyst. Like there's some other kind of thing that tells the story, because I feel like it's been done so many times, and again, a lot of us don't want to really see that on the screen. So if there are any other movies out there, I'm sure there are some. Like, definitely let us know, recommend us. We would love to kind of see them. So before we kind of get into these two movies, just to kind of soften things a little bit, we're going to do a little bit of drinking tonight. I have here that I picked up at his Trader Joe's blended Scotch whiskey. It was $10.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I know. $10 though, and I had to pick it up. So we're gonna see how horrible or good. You know what? Sometimes the Trader Joe's stuff isn't bad. So I'm gonna pour this, and we're gonna see.
Yeah,
what
like their
happens,
sandwich or their soup. I don't know about if the same guy that's like slicing the turkey in the back is the same guy that's like blending the whiskey, but I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. I mean, look, it is product of Scotland, so it's, you know, distilled in Scotland. It's real. It exists, and again,
The
was
origins of
$10.
Trader Joe's, Scotland. Yes, I'm quite aware.
So
of that.
that's what I'm gonna drink tonight. What do you got over there?
Oh, I got something nice here. A little
Oh,
double
my favorite,
oaked,
my
a little
favorite.
double oaked here. I didn't even crack it yet.
Yeah. So for those of you who can't see, Jerry has the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, which is my
Double
favorite
oaked.
bourbon. I don't get it very often because it is a little on the pricier side, and I am on a budget. But Double Oaked is delicious. So we're gonna sip two very different two very different whiskeys, and we're gonna see what happens. So let's cheers.
Cheers. Woo.
Okay, this tastes disgusting.
Does it really? No.
No. Okay, so it just tastes like cheaper
Cutty Sark.
Scotch. It tastes yes, it tastes just like Cutty Sark, just like Cutty Sark. It tastes like a cheaper whiskey. It's not overly tasting like dirt, but there's something sweet in it that's also I get from the Cutty that is what I don't like.
Oh, really?
I like
Okay.
scotches that are, again, I like the dirt taste. I like things that are very like kind of hard to cut down, the mossy kind of scotch. This has got that little bit of sweetness. So yeah, it is like a Cutty Sark, or like kind of like a J&B, but not as smooth. But look, $10, I'm gonna drink it and see what happens.
Okay,
Tell us about
what was
that.
the proof on that?
I don't know. Good question. I didn't say. Yeah, 40%. So it's light.
All right.
It's light.
80. Yeah, not
Yeah.
bad.
There's
Okay.
no burn. It's easy to drink. It's just not, it's not exactly for me, but look, $10. That's how I'm gonna
So
keep saying
just
it.
like Trader Joe's, you could have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So
Exactly. It's a breakfast
they have
scotch.
something available at any time of the day, and now they have a scotch that's available any time of the day.
So tell us about the Woodford Double Oaked, other than I know it's delicious.
It's rich, it's smooth, it's silky, and it has a nice kind of chocolatey taste. And after that is a nice sizzling burn, and it feels good. You know, it's like and I know I'm drinking a bourbon. I know I'm drinking a good bourbon. It's about 90.4 proof, I believe. And I mean, what makes this interesting is they finish it once, and then they finish it again in another barrel. So you got a lot of oak in there. I'm not getting the oakiness yet, but I think once my ice cube here melts just a little bit, it'll kind of soften up that burn. Let me check it out one more time. Mm, it's a woodsy taste. I wouldn't say it's an oaky taste, but there's something woodsy in there. I like it. It's good. It's definitely one of my top five favorite drinks. And if I see it, I buy it. If I'm at the bar, I order it.
Yeah, and the double oaked is probably the bourbon that tastes the most like chocolate to me.
Yeah.
Like I always get that, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. Or like not even like a coffee, but like a coffee ice cream kind of
Yeah.
taste to it, which is why, yeah, I really like it. Again, if you're listening to this right now, I would highly recommend going to YouTube and watching it because you're going to see me grimace every time I take a sip of this Trader Joe's Scotch. So that might be interesting for you. I mean, sometimes people like to see a little pain. So, all right, I'm gonna continue to drink this. I don't know if there are drinking games planned. Hopefully not, because I'm gonna have a hard time here. But let's get into the movie. So we'll go in
Yeah.
order of when they were released. So
Okay.
we each picked one movie. I picked Revenge because I'd never seen it before, and I'm a huge fan of The Substance. It's one of my favorite movies, I would say, to come out of ever, really, but definitely in recent times. And you picked American Mary from 2012, which again was directed by Jen and Sylvia Soska, twin sisters who write and direct horror films. And I think this was their second film that they did. I'll give the plot of it really quick. The allure of easy money sends Mary Mason, a medical student, into the world of underground body modification surgeries, and along the way, she meets lots of interesting, bizarre people, and a bunch of just kind of seemingly random kind of stuff happens to her. It's kind of like it's an interesting story because I don't think this is a horror movie, which is a bit of a bummer every time I watch it because I forget, and I think it's a huge bait and switch because you see the cover art, and the cover art is awesome. You got Katherine Isabelle, is that her name? Katherine
Yes.
Isabelle, like bloody with this like black kind
Like
of
a big
apron
kind of
on. This looks like it's gonna
cleaver
be,
kind of.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like it's gonna be this sick slasher movie, and it is not. This is not a slasher movie. It's very indie, and it's like almost like a drama where just a bunch of just different things kind of happen to this character, and it never really goes full tilt like I feel like it needed to. But yeah, I pick up this movie every couple of years because I forget about it. And every time I watch it, I'm kind of like, oh man. But
Mm.
this movie has a huge cult following. People that love this movie really love this movie. And I'm not really sure what it is. And I kind of wish we had a female guest on this episode to kind of give a different perspective. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. And we'll kind of get into it a little more. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, so I chose this because I've actually never saw it.
Mhm.
And I definitely heard about it in the past, and I want to watch something from the Soska sisters because I really don't get to catch like a lot of their stuff. I mean, honestly, the only last thing I really remember from them was that awesome show I used to watch all the time called Elevator.
I used to
And
love that show. That
I used
show
to
was
love that
great.
show. It was like an evil, fucked up show, and I'm like, I don't really know much about their films. So yeah, I mean, I put this on, and just like you, I wasn't quite sure what kind of film it was, and I landed on that it's a dark slasher comedy is kind of like what I put in my head to kind of fill this in. Again, I mean, there's definitely kills in it. There's body horror in it. There's a lot of blood in it, and some evil shit happens. So I feel like it's a horror film, but it's not. Again, it's not. I guess I was kind of expecting something different as well, looking at the cover art. But let me tell you, what I did see, I liked. Overall, I think this film, um, like right at the bat, I like the way it looked. I think it had like a lot of like texture and it felt real. And I thought, which was super, super important because it's such a dark movie, that all those dark scenes were really well lit. And I could actually see what the hell was going on, during a lot of these scenes that took place like in a basement and things like that. So I did like that. I like the character of Catherine Isabelle. I'm a fan of hers. I didn't love Ginger Snaps. It's okay, but I think she does really really well in this film. And honestly, it's like a topic I would probably never choose, never watch a film about. But for me, it just kind of worked, like body modification and illegal surgeries and this evil revenge plot. I mean, it's in its pieces and its elements. It's really interesting. overall together as a film, yeah, it's a little all over the place, but I think I liked it, and I'm kind of surprised that you didn't like it. I thought that this is a film I think I heard you speak about, so I'm curious your thoughts of what you didn't like.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with you with a few things. I think the filmmaking is great. It's shot really well. It's very well done. It feels much bigger than the
Yeah,
movie is.
yes,
Just in terms of like the techniques, and again, like you said, the lighting's really good. I like how it's colored. I like the music in the
yeah, yeah,
movie. I think performances are fine. I think I like when Catherine Isabelle, she kind of plays two different, like she plays it two different ways. Like sometimes she's just this kind of like snarky bitch, which I think
yeah,
is what a lot of people like. I kind of could do without
yes.
that.
I like
But
that. Yeah.
when she gets into like cold, like when she gets into torture mode, I think she's really good because she's got that doctor clinical kind of like way she gives her dialogue, which I really like. It's chilling, and there's like I think maybe two scenes, maybe three, where she's like kind of doing some torture, and she's really effective there just by how subtle it is. So there are things I like about this movie. I like it's completely original. Like
Oh yeah.
I think there's a really good story in there. I think again what gets me is it is a bit of a mess. I feel like in the however long this movie is, like 100 minutes or so, they just didn't tell the story. And I feel like this would have been better if it was like a series, like a TV series to expand on a lot of this, because it just wasn't enough. And I kind of feel like, so we're talking about two movies that have sexual assault. To me, that just feels like unnecessary in this movie because like it starts off she's kind of like this broke medical student who's kind of like whatever, and she gets into this world of doing illegal surgeries, which is a really interesting story to me. Like she
Hmm.
starts out like she's kind of helping people like cover up a crime, and then she just like meets someone who wants like just what does the first person want, I forget,
Uh,
like a sex change.
I forgot it was Betty Boop's friend, the porcelain person. No, no, she making her look more
Making her
doll-like.
more look like a doll, which I
Yeah,
think
the
is really cool.
doll-like.
And then
Yeah.
she decides, oh, I can make money at this. And I think that's like a
Hmm.
really interesting like story angle. And then like maybe 40 minutes in, they throw in this kind of like sexual assault, which I guess unhinges her. But I kind of didn't feel like that was necessary. I feel like they could have done other things to kind of get her to the point of torturing somebody. So I kind of felt like that was just kind of thrown in there just for shock value. But I don't know. I think that's my problem is just the writing is there's some good stories in here, but it never gets fully flushed out. And I think also the way that it ends, it just ends like
Oh,
so abrupt. And
yeah.
I had to like look
I
up
have a
what
note.
actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to look up what happened because I was like confused. I was like, wait, who's that character? And like, how did that? It didn't make a lot of
Yeah.
sense. So I kind of felt like either there was just a lot that they didn't get to shoot for whatever reason, or it's just a convoluted storytelling. And I think that's where I kind of
Yeah.
the
I
movie
mean,
lacks for me.
it runs long, so you think they would be able
And it
to
feels long. The
tell,
pacing I
yeah,
think is slow.
yeah. You would think they'd be able to tell the story in that amount of time, but the way it ended did not match the pacing of the rest of the film, and was completely off for me as well. And I did have a note about that, and I'll probably get more into that later, like what I really thought about the ending. Just thinking about a few of the, the characters in the film. I mean, I would say like every single guy in this film is some sort of piece of shit for
Right.
one reason or another, whether it's like the sleazy club owner. Both her doctor teachers were both kind of like pieces of shit.
Right.
I don't even think the detective was that good of a person. Like there was really no good people. I wouldn't say is a definitive hero in this film because everyone is like kind of like in their own way. They're kind of shitty. And the one thing I will disagree with you on is that I do have a note that I felt like when she does kind of switch into like that surgery mode, I felt like her acting kind of suffered a little bit, and I felt like it was, to me it felt a little forced. And I see what you're saying now about like she was kind of like in doctor mode, and maybe I wasn't picking that up enough, but I felt like it was almost like forced, trying to like she's like stay in this zone, stay in the zone, and don't let go. I kind of felt that maybe in her face or something like that, that it wasn't like kind of coming across to me. But every other time I thought she was awesome in the film, which is so weird.
Yeah, it's interesting we just disagree on that. And again, I think probably a lot of people like the snarky, bitchy character. I think that's probably like what good. And I like that again. It's very alternative. Like the females in the movie again are very alternative. It's something I haven't seen before, so I appreciate it for that. But yeah, there are too many different plot points going on. So like, okay, you have Mary who's doing these underground surgeries. That's like one story. You have again the Betty Boop character and her friend who wanted a sex change. There's like that story. There's the strip club owner who's like in love with Mary. There's his story. There's a rape and then her revenge story. And there's a detective trying to find out what happened to like the guy that got kidnapped basically and tortured. So there's all of these different things going on and none of them really fully developed for me. So I feel like if they would have cut like half of those stories and just focused on one or two things, it would have been a lot better. Like the strip club owner, like being obsessed with her, took up way too much time for me. And I get they're just trying to get some like visual things in there. Like there's a scene where Mary is like doing like a strip dance or whatever, and it's like this guy's fantasy, and it looked cool. But to me, it like did nothing to advance the story. Whereas they could have done 10 other things that would have been more interesting than this guy dreaming about Mary. It just and maybe it's just that's the point. It's trying to show her effect that she has on these people in her orbit and how it kind of ruins people, I guess, maybe. But to me, I felt like for a movie that feels long, it just it didn't like it wasn't satisfying. It didn't accomplish anything. And I do feel again, I feel like the her doing these illegal surgeries and then kind of partnering with, some shady underground criminal people to like help cover up crimes, that is really interesting to me. And if it was just that, I probably would have liked this movie
It
so much more.
interesting, but also felt out of character for her. And I'm like, why? Like the whole time, like, why is she dealing with this Billy guy? Like,
Right.
why? Like she did the job, but why would she continue to go back there and hang out with him and now kind of become a part of his life? And there is that one scene. I mean, you could tell that he likes her and he's always trying to like kind of come on to her in a sleazy way, and she's always kind of like playing him off. But there is that one scene where like he's in the club and one of the new strippers are there, and they're kind of like dicking around in the back room. And
Literally dicking around. You mean she's blowing
yeah,
him?
and Mary kind of walks in on them, and for some reason she's upset now, and she's kind of threatening to this new stripper girl. And to me, that just didn't make any sense at all. It's like, man, you really fell a long way. You were a medical student. Everyone thinks that you were like the top of the class, like, one of the best medical students about to become a surgeon. And now you're hanging around this sleazy guy in his sleazy club doing illegal shit. And now you kind of have a crush on him and you're jealous. Like it just didn't seem a part of that character, or it just seemed too far away from where she started to that point in the movie that I would believe that. I just didn't believe that she would like that guy, and I found it very strange that she reacted that way. And
Yeah,
again,
it
just
wasn't
another
developed. Like their
issue.
relationship
Yeah,
wasn't developed. It was
not
like
at all.
one-sided until like that happened. And
That
again,
moment.
there's a lot of like just character development that doesn't happen. So like she gets raped by her professor and he films it and it's like horrible, tragic. But literally 30 seconds later, she has him like tied up and she's torturing him. And it's like you never got the impression that she was like this kind of person that would do that. It's not like she just snapped and this happened. It happened so fast that you don't even really get to. It was just confusing for me. I'm like, wait, how did we get from there to here so fast? Like maybe they could have like developed more of her like stalking him or going through it actually, like, or just developed that she's already kind of like crazy. Like they don't really,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
So it just
maybe
there's
there
so many
was
things in the
something happening in the beginning that we didn't know about. Maybe she was, had like some sort of, issues and mental problems. But again, she seemed like a really put together person that was like excelling in becoming a surgeon. So very, very, very strange. Yeah, obviously I liked that, the revenge plot was against this guy that raped her and was, evil as hell. I mean, like she just like went to work on this guy. I think excuse me, I think they said it was like 14 hours that she was like putting
Like
in
10
some
different
work.
surgeries on this
Yeah,
guy.
like putting work.
Yeah,
I mean,
so what
that was
happens, just
fucked
to
up.
for people that haven't seen the movie, is she captures somehow the guy that assaulted her, like ties him up, and then does all of this body modification on him, like, you know, like forks his tongue, like cuts off his balls, like she does all of these things. Most of you don't see, but she tells you like that she did it. But that's kind of like what happens, and then she kind of uses him to start her business. So she like makes a website where she has pictures of all the different body mod stuff that she did, and she basically practices on this victim that, you know, raped her, which I think is cool. Like I like that.
Yeah,
The
I
other
think that
thing
was awesome.
about it too, it's like there was another doctor involved in this whole thing who the sleazy strip club owner captures, but
Oh, Dr. Walsh.
you
Yeah.
don't really see what happened to him. And I would have liked to have seen, like, if we're gonna go down this plot of her getting revenge on people, like they should have showed that too. Like it just kind of, like the only person I feel like that we see her actually kill, or that we see get killed in the movie, and maybe I'm wrong and I'm forgetting something, is like a security guard that just happened to walk in on her torturing this guy. So again, there was just too many things that just kind of came out of nowhere, and I just don't know if the script was a much bigger script and they had to cut it down for budget or for time, and then this is what we got, and then this maybe they drag some things out to make a runtime. But that's my, again, my big problem with the movie is it's too all over the place, and nothing is really accomplished. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely some strange parts and some things I would have liked to seen explained a little more. I'm assuming and I think that this is kind of how she got connected. Is that she I think did she pay Billy to kidnap her teacher, and that's how she got him captured to perform like those experiments on him. I believe
Possibly, I don't
that's how
remember if
she
that's what
got him.
happened. Okay.
Yeah, with the other doctor, Dr. Walsh. I believe that was Billy kind of acting on his own, trying to be a hero. And I thought that was kind of strange that one, she was kind of alluding to him like, don't do this for me. I don't want you to do it. So she's like well aware of his feelings for her, and she knows she's gonna have to like obviously get involved with this guy if he does kidnap, someone for her and torture him, whatever. And he does. The only things that we really see is him beating up this doctor. I don't remember if she does anything. Again, these
No.
cuts were
Yeah.
so quick and so fast that if you even saw 3 seconds of this guy getting beat up, maybe it was that. I think it was a half a second. I was like, wait, was that the doctor just
Yeah,
then?
exactly.
And
I had to really think about it, be like what actually happened, like, and why did it happen? So, yeah, that's
that feels like
there.
the theme of this movie is like all those like critical moments that we needed. They cut those a little short to leave you kind of like, what the hell just happened? Where all the stuff they didn't have to develop, they overdeveloped. And I don't know if it's just, them. Yeah, I think you said it was their second
I
film,
believe it was their
maybe,
second movie. I think they
you
were
know,
writing this when they were trying to shop their first movie. So I don't know their timeline exactly, but I do believe it was their second film.
so maybe it's just kind of some growing pains and learning how to, create a film,
Yeah,
but
and look, I know they didn't have a ton of
on
money to make it. Like I believe I read that their mom like mortgaged the house or did a
no
second
way,
mortgage on their
really.
house to pay for the movie, which, you know, that's nice to have that luxury of someone to give you a ton of money to make a movie. But I think it was done fairly cheap, or and maybe that's what they started with, and they got like $1 million from somebody else after that. I'm not really sure, like because I think their first movie, I think it's Dead Hooker in a Trunk. I've never seen it, but I think that did really well and kind of really burst them on the scene. I've only seen one other film of theirs. I saw their remake of Rabid, and it was okay. Just it was ran really long. It was too long
Mm.
for the movie it needed to be. And this movie feels very long, and it didn't need to, based on again them not showing us some stuff. So yeah, I think for me, like why I don't like it as much is it's a bummer because there's a good movie in here, it just needed to be more refined. But again, there's people do love this movie. It's a cult classic. I every now and then, like on social media, like I don't know if it just like if it broadcasts and a bunch of people are talking about it, but there are a lot of fans of this movie. So I would like to kind of hear from them what they liked. Maybe they just like the character, maybe they just like the world because it does create a world, and I give them credit for that. And it's a very bizarre world for a lot of people, and then for some people it's a very familiar world. So like I do like that. I just man, I wish I just would have like narrowed it down and been just like one story instead of like six.
Yeah, definitely like a niche kind of topic that she's tapping here. And I think maybe if I had known, really what this film was about. I don't know if I would have picked it. I'm not into, those body modifications and it's not the body modifications part. It's like seeing it happen. Everyone knows here, Rich knows, everyone knows like body horror has to be done in like, it's a really certain way for me to kind of get over it. And I guess the good thing is that, obviously they were using practical effects and they probably didn't have a ton of money to do what they need to do. So at least those scenes are quick and
Or off
brief.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah, and digestible for me because I'm just like, as soon as you're like lifting up like a flap of skin, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm like kind of like, getting a little queasy inside, and anytime I don't know why this always gets me, man. Any of that like suspension stuff, and I see hooks, and that's probably why I don't get into like Hellraiser and things like that because that's just like anything with a hook. I'm just like, oh, I don't like that,
Yeah.
And there are definitely some like hooks in this film, even though I could clearly see, where the prosthetics were. It's still just the thought of it, I think, bothers me. I don't know. I don't know if it's like something like some trauma from when I was a kid and I went fishing or something like that. And I got like a rusty hook kind of stuck like in my ear. And like I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's from like when I was 8 and that happened or if it's just something that like as you get older you just can't like deal with it anymore. But for some reason certain things just make me like, ugh. And this definitely had a couple of those things in there.
Yeah, it is weird though, because I probably see this movie three times, and
Oh
every
wow.
time I come away not liking it, but I forget what I didn't like about it. So when I always go into it like thinking like forgetting the movie. And this time was no different. Like I in my head I was like, oh yeah, it's a movie where she gets raped and she does a bunch of shit. But like that's like again a small plot point in this movie, and it's not even really about that. So like, I don't know why it doesn't leave an impact on me, but yeah, it's just one of those movies I tend to watch, and I'll probably watch it again in a couple of years, even, and I'll probably feel the same way. I think I'm just, you know what it is? I think I'm just hoping I like it more, like knowing that again, it's not a slasher movie, it's not really a straight horror movie, it's a very bizarre indie, drama thriller comedy, I guess, film. It's different though. I do give them credit for making something that is unique, and I haven't seen a movie like this before. It's very different, so I give them credit for a unique story. I just wish it was told better.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't even really know what kind of films they make. Like I haven't seen anything they ever done. Like I said, the only thing I've ever seen was that show. So yeah, this was kind of surprising to me. I thought just I don't know, whenever I see them like in interviews or things like that, I feel like they kind of lean towards like those like really bloody kind of gory slasher type films, and I was way off because this definitely has a lot of elements of a dark comedy. There are some times where I felt like maybe I was laughing and I didn't really know why. Maybe I
Yeah,
was just
it's uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, or I was just like, oh, that's peculiar, and you kind of laugh to yourself a little bit. And I mean, there's a lot of moments like that. Definitely some moments of blood, but just not what I thought it would be. A few things I did like. I like the name of the bar. Do you
What was that?
remember
I
the name?
forgot.
It was
No.
called Bourbon A Go Go.
Oh
So I
yeah.
thought that was a fantastic name. I mean, it's just take out the whiskey, put in bourbon, and there you
Yeah,
go.
that's
I mean,
clever.
I'm like, that is so clever. I'm like, I love that. Because I don't think enough people say bourbon, and
No.
we love talking about bourbon, and it is essentially a type of whiskey. But I think it's funny when people actually say it because it kind of like when you hear it, it kind of sounds like an old man's kind of thing. But people that know, you guys know. But I thought that was funny. What I didn't like is I didn't like the end. I mean, I'll just shoot right over to it. I didn't like the end. It
It
did
comes out of
feel
nowhere.
rushed. It felt it didn't make a lot of sense, and I'm guessing what I got from it is that she dies trying to operate on herself. And, I just thought it's just a weird choice that she thought that she could kind of operate on herself when she was like basically about to pass out from like blood loss. And
So I'll stop you. I think she was just desperate at that. So what ends up happening is she does a sex change operation on somebody. That person's boyfriend gets pissed off that this person that she had this surgery, and then goes after Mary, who did the surgery, uh, stabs her, I believe,
stabs her, yeah.
and
So
then
quick, you barely see it.
yeah, it happens so fast, and then Mary tries to like stitch herself up, kind of similar how she does at the very beginning of the movie with like a turkey, and it just was too late. So like I kind of maybe get why she just didn't call the police or
Yeah,
anything. Also, the
exactly.
police are like investigating her for murder, so like that probably wasn't the right option for her. So she kind of did what she had to do, but I just feel that when the main character of a story, and she's in like almost every scene, so like this is her movie, gets stabbed by like a random character that like you don't even really know their name.
Never saw him before.
And yeah, and I like was like, who is that? Like at first I thought it was I was so confused by who it was killing her that like I said I had to look it up and say like, wait, what actually happened to this movie? And if I have to look up like I didn't look up the ending because it was confusing. I looked up the ending because I was like, wait, what? Who is that? Like, that's not a good job. Like, so I think if they were gonna do that as the ending, you needed to at least have this character that kills the main protagonist of this movie in it more. Like,
In it, or at least kind of kill the person as well. So now we know like he's on some sort of revenge plot where he kills his girlfriend, and now he's going, after Mary as well. I think that probably would have made more sense. But what I think they did is they just showed some quick like flash on the screen of this guy with that woman who was the porcelain woman. I can't think of her name. I have everyone's name written down except for hers. And they just show them standing together, and that's how you know that that's the same person. But it's literally flashed on screen. I think the whole thing is 2 seconds, and if you looked away, if you sneezed, if you ate popcorn, you missed it. You didn't know who this person was, and now they're killing basically the main character of the film. And it's a stretch. I mean, a lot of people could have killed her, maybe a stripper from the club, maybe someone who, Billy owed money to or something like that.
one of the
There's a lot,
doctors that could have
yeah,
had a wife. Like,
there's definitely a lot of people that could have killed her, but this random guy from this random surgery, it just, I don't know, didn't make a lot of sense. And that kind of ruined it a little bit for me, but I'm still gonna say overall, being that this movie was so different and it was a story and plot that I never imagined, and it looks so nice, I still kind of like the movie.
yeah, look, I get it. And I think, look, if you just kind of go into the movie as like it's a vibe, I think it's more enjoyable, right? I think I'm going into the movie and I'm like critiquing it, and I'm thinking like what I would do different or what I would like to see like different. And for me, like there was so many things that took me out of the movie, and so many times where I was bored, to be
Yeah,
honest with
yeah,
you.
it definitely dips in the middle. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
feels very long, and again, there's just a lot of unnecessary things that time could have been spent on the actual interesting parts of the movie instead of just this looks cool visually, let's do this. And again, like, it's a second film, I get it. Like it's a pretty damn good second film. I just wish it was better. And I think this would be a great series. Like I would watch if this was
Mm.
on like if it was a Netflix series or something, I would totally watch this
Hell
because
yeah.
I want more. And
Love the concepts.
I
Yeah.
guess that's a good thing that I want more. But like I'm also disappointed. So yeah, that's my take on the movie. I would not say I like it. I wouldn't recommend it. But I think the filmmaking's really good. I think it's well shot. I think it's well lit. I think it's well acted. I think it's scored well. It's an interesting concept. It goes in too many different directions and none of them pay off. If this would have had a great ending too, like that would have been like saved the movie for me because again, it's just you're in it, you're like, okay, like you're waiting for something. You're basically the whole movie waiting for something big to
Big
happen.
to happen. Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, it's over. Like that big thing never happens because it like either happened off camera or like they just decided to not reference it or so that's my take on the movie. I wish I liked it more. And I hate to kind of like be down on this movie, but yeah, it wasn't for me, and that's it. So let's rate this one so we can move on to the next film. What we do on this show is we do a little drinking game tied to how we rate the movies. We rate every movie on a scale of 0 to 5 bloody knives, and the number of bloody knives I give a movie are the number of seconds Jerry needs to drink for, and vice versa. So yeah, I'm gonna give mine. Look, I'm gonna give it a 2, because there are like a lot of things I do like about the movie. I just wish it was so much better, and it's a bummer for me. But I'm gonna give it a 2. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It just needed to be better.
I would say that's fair, and I do think I like the film a little bit more than you did. I had fun with it. I had fun watching it, and I was really impressed with the filmmaking and really impressed with the plot. So there were so many things that I did like about it. And I think I probably will watch it again. I think I will, but just through a different lens where I'm just not expecting, again, like kind of like you just get over like that's not a slasher. It's not really, going to be what you think it's going to be. It's something else. I think now that I know what it is, I'm okay with that. So I'm going to give it a 3. Bloody
Okay.
knives.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm drinking for 3 seconds. Jerry is for 2. Let's cheers to
Cheers.
that.
And
All
I
right.
want
This is Trader Joe's
to,
Scotch.
yeah, I want to say what's interesting about this movie is that it was from 2012, and I don't think we reviewed any films from 2012 on this podcast before. Can you think of any?
I cannot, and I
I'm
am.
glad you cannot think of any.
Damn. All right. Well, I know where this is going, and just so you know, I do have a really quick, which might be a challenging drinking game after this one, but I know where you're going with this.
A
So go ahead.
challenging.
But it might
I
be
don't know if
challenging.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, so I figured since this is a 2012 film and we never really reviewed any from 2012, I don't know how it never happened, but it's just the year we missed. So I thought this would be a great time to do. Was it 2012? Seems like a great year. I don't know if there was a lot of great horror. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't.
We will see.
So I guess if you'd like, we could play this game. And for anyone who doesn't know, or if anyone who's getting their drinks ready right now, and you want to play along, it's pretty simple. You could choose one of us and drink along with one of us. And how it works is, I'm gonna ask Rich. I'm going to give him the name of the film, and I'm basically just going to ask him, was it made in 2012 or was it not? If he gets it right, I'm going to drink. If he gets it wrong, he's going to drink. Pretty simple. That's it. Nothing devious to it. I'm not adding extra sips or anything crazy. It's just basic, straightforward. Was it 2012 tonight? So are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to start off with a fan favorite. The Purge.
That was 2012.
That was 2013.
Ah, damn.
All right, so anyone who chose Rich is going to take a sip with him right now.
You know what? They're probably all going to be no because I don't think there was good horror in 2012. So.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're at work, just pour just pour that shot into your coffee tumbler. Your boss ain't gonna know. He's he's like, oh, I'm just watching this trivia game. It's no big deal, boss. All right, number 2. Oh, this is definitely going to be one of your favorite films. I know you probably watched this one 3 to 4 times, so you should probably know this one. The ABCs of Death.
Oh. Yeah, and I have seen
you probably
that.
Never watched it.
No, I did it, and one night I did
did.
back to back part 1 and part 2, which was a big mistake because
Portal.
So there's like 26 short films in ABCs of Death, and I would say 2 of them are watchable and 24 are unwatchable. Oh fuck. Yeah, I'll just say 2012.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna take a sip. So you remembered when you watched it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I trauma bonded on that one.
All right. This is a good one. The Cabin in the Woods.
Oof. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't done that one yet.
Like that one. It's a good
yeah,
one.
I love that movie. You know what? I am gonna say 2012.
It is 2012.
Nice.
All right, this is a film that Jerry likes, and we definitely talked about it here. but we didn't play the game. It's one of my favorite films, and I talk about it all the time. And if I get hate mail over this one more time, I'm gonna just lose my shit. The Lords of Salem.
Oh, I think that's 2013. So
That's
not
actually 2012.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, it's right. You're doing good. You're like 50-50 right now. You're doing
So we did
good.
do that. All right, so we have done a 2012 film. Okay.
But we didn't play the game. I don't know if the game. I don't know if the game existed back then.
Yeah, that was our second episode.
That was like our second.
I
I don't even know if we were playing drinking games back then, but
we were just surviving.
Yeah, we were just trying to get through. All right, how about this one? I think you've seen this one. You're next.
Oof. Oh man, another one. I can't believe we haven't done that one.
Good one.
I'm gonna say 2012.
It's 2011. You're close.
Damn.
Man, it's right there.
I usually do well at this game, not today.
Yeah. Good. It's such a strange year, and I'm telling you, this is like a good pocket of films that were. I was only joking around. There is a really good pocket of films that were made, like in like the 2010s. I think the 2010s. We need to explore that a little bit more because I think there's a lot of good films there. How about this one, The Conjuring?
That is. I think that's 2011.
All right, wrong year, but you got it right. It's 2013. So.
Damn. Okay. Well, I got it right at least.
All right, Jerry's getting low here.
I think we're tied.
We're tied, and we only got 2 left. All right, let's see. Which one am I going to do first here? I want to get the advantage. Okay, Sinister.
I'm going to say 2012. Is that correct? That is correct.
Took the lead.
If you're watching on YouTube, you will see Jerry make a very disappointed face right there. He was not excited.
This is it. I don't want to lose another game. I'll even settle for a tie. So it's all going to come down to this final question.
Get on Polymarket and put your bets in. Will Jerry win or lose this game?
I think I have a good one here. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm nervous. Hostel Part 3
Fuck if I know. And I have seen it. I have seen it, but I could not tell you when it came out.
It's in the 2010s. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not 2012. That's a guess.
And once again, Jerry loses. It is
when was
2011.
It? Woo! I've seen it once, don't remember it, other than it takes place in Vegas, I think. That's all I remember about it.
All right, Daddy needs to refill, guys.
All right, while you're refilling, I'm going to tell you the other drinking game that I planned. It's a really quick one. I think there's going to be like maybe 4 questions. Since it is March and it is Women's History Month, I do want to talk, even though I didn't like this movie, there are a lot of female-directed horror movies that I do like. So I'm going to give you 2 options. I could either name the horror movie and you tell me the director, or I could name the director and you tell me one of their horror movies.
Oh man, this is so tough. I suck at this, but I will go with you name the director, I'll name the film.
Okay, I'm going to name the director. Jerry names the film. If he gets it wrong, he does a sip. If he gets it right, I do a sip. So I'm naming the director, that's what we said, right? Okay, Katherine Bigelow. Academy Award-winning director, Katherine Bigelow.
Katherine Bigelow. Oh my god, the name is so familiar.
It's a movie I love, and we did talk about it briefly on an episode. We didn't cover it, though.
Donnie Darko.
No, Near Dark.
Near Dark. Oh, yes, it was good. All right, take
a sip.
Yeah.
All right, next up, I know we both love this movie, Mary Harron.
Oh my god, why don't I not know any films?
Yeah, I knew this would be a tough one for you.
Martyrs.
No, American Psycho.
Damn it! Oh my god! Oh.
Yeah, so some really solid female-directed horror films. I think I have 3, maybe 4 more. All right.
If anyone wants to bet, I'm going down. I'm going down quickly.
This one I don't think you're going to get, but I'm going to say it just because we could do it. To shout out these directors. Mary Lambert.
Mary Lambert. Frankenstein.
Pet Sematary.
Oh God, man!
Which I had no idea that was directed by a woman. Yeah, and from 1989. Okay.
This is not my forte. I'm
No,
going down,
no.
people. I am going down. I'm better at compiling the trivia, but literally none of this information sticks with me. As soon as the trivia is done, so is that information.
Okay, a couple more. Anna Lily Amirpour,
I don't know her name.
Iranian. I thought she was
Yeah.
Iranian film director.
Woman walks home alone at midnight.
I'll give you that one. It's a girl walks home
Girl
alone at
walks home
night.
at
I'll give
midnight.
you
Okay,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I knew the film and I knew her. What else did she direct?
I forget the bad. What was it called? I forget what it was called. I didn't like it. It's like the bad something. It's like a weird.
Yeah,
The Bad Batch. Bad Batch. It was a weird movie. Okay. This director did two horror films that I know about. So you could do either one. Nia DaCosta.
I don't know, Slumber Party Massacre. I don't.
No, Candyman or 28 Years Later,
Oh,
Bone Temple. She also
God
did.
damn it! As soon as you say it, it's like I know it and it connects in my head. But I got to be honest with you, people. There's a lot of bourbon willing around in there, and the doesn't always fire. Oh, damn
All
it!
right, I'm
I
gonna
lost that
do I'm gonna
miserably.
do one more, and
Hmm.
they did two films. I don't think you're gonna get this one, but you never know. Karen Kusama. Hope I pronounced that right.
Karen Kasama.
One of the films I love.
I don't know. Hot tension.
No, that was a man. No, she did Jennifer's Body and
Oh, see, God damn it! I know all these.
something called The Invitation, which think I've seen.
I
All
think I
right, well
watched like
that
20
was
minutes of it. That was brutal. Let me take another sip. I just filled up, guys. I just filled up, and I'm already on empty.
so yeah, celebrating Women's History Month. Let's move on to
Clearly, I didn't
our
brush up on my on my directors.
let's move on to our next film, which is Revenge from 2017, directed by Coralie Fargeat, is how you pronounce it. And I know that because I Googled it, and that's how she pronounced it. This is the film she did right before The Substance, or actually way before The Substance, but believe it's her first film. I'll give you the plot of it really quick. A married man brings his mistress on a hunting trip with two of his boys. Unfortunately, when he leaves to go run an errand, one of his friends rapes his mistress. When she threatens to tell the married man's wife, the three of them try to kill her. They leave her for dead, but somehow she manages to survive and hunts them all down. So again, typical like kind of rape revenge movie. What I will say is this is, I would say, very different than a lot of the rape revenge movies that I've seen, and that is really just the filmmaking of it. This film is like beautifully shot. It is vibrant, colorful, lots of contrast. Like most of it takes place outside in like this very desert kind of area, but it looks beautiful. And the movie almost plays like a Mad Max kind of movie. Like that's
Yeah,
how it is. It is very violent, very bloody, and very brutal. I think my one flaw, I have a few things in the movie, but the big flaw of the movie I think is the pacing, and it feels very slow to me, and it just there's a lot of just like waiting for shit to happen, or just like takes a long time for things to happen. But I will say that the movie looks amazing, and it's very stylistic, and I wish it wasn't like about sexual assault. Like I would like this, like when we get to the rating later, it's rewatchability, right? And I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch this movie again. And I think if it had a different thing setting off the plot, maybe it would. But and I will say that the way they handle the sexual assault, it is you don't see a lot of it. A lot of it is like hearing the woman's screams, which is brutal and
yeah,
fucking horrifying, while like other like normal shit is happening, and they kind of show you a little bit of like her face. So it's not like overly in your face. Like it's not like irreversible, where it's like you're
yeah,
watching this horrific thing, but it does stick with you. And it might be maybe a minute of screen time in an hour 40-minute movie, so it's not like a lot, but it does kind of really set the tone of like, oh man. And I think early on you kind of know the movie's called Revenge. I turned it on. I'm assuming you see this woman, she's beautiful. She's kind of the way they shoot her is very sexualized. Like this director loves that close-up butt shot. There's
Yeah.
lots of that in this. There's lots of that in the substance, but you just know something horrible is going to happen and you know it's going to be that. And so it's like, oh, man, you put on this movie, you're like, fuck, like what am I gonna see? And luckily that does happen early on. And again, a lot of the rest of the movie is this person surviving and then turning into basically like a warrior. And she's badass. She's really badass. I think the actress is really great. I think the three actors, the guys, aren't really that great. Like they're whatever. I don't think they're great actors, but she's really good. So this was my first time seeing this movie. I know you've seen it previously, so like, how do you feel about it?
This film is evil as fuck. I can't express that. And this film is a French film, so it goes to extremes. And when you have a topic like this, a revenge plot against these men who raped this woman, you know they're going to take it to the edge, and they definitely did. So I was not, and I watched this way before The Substance. I probably watched this in 2018 or 2019, and it wasn't because I was familiar with this director. The reason I watched this film is because I was reading an article, as I do a lot of times on my commute, and I was just reading about some of the bloodiest films in existence. And this film popped up, and I'm like, I never heard of this film. I'm like, what could this be? Is it the bloodiest film ever? So I don't know. So let me tell you something. For about 35 to 45 minutes of this film, I'm like, no, I don't believe that this is the bloodiest film I've ever seen. For an hour of this film, I would say this is the fucking bloodiest film I've ever seen in my entire life. And I never seen so much blood in a film. And I never looked away and covered my eyes with my hand as much as I did throughout this movie, because it just gets fucked up. So I'm gonna say I like this film. Do I like the theme of this? No, no, I don't. No, I again, just like you, I wish it was about something else, but it shows an action and a reaction, and the reaction is so brutal that you're just like, hell yeah. All right, so I definitely saw some things in this film that I was just like, what the fuck? And again, it starts off like it's like this beautiful opening, there's like a helicopter. You could tell like there's like opulence and this guy's rich, and there's champagne and cigars and this beautiful women. I'm like, what kind of film could this possibly be? And it kind of starts off like almost on a high note. And then it gets dark fairly quick within like maybe 15, 20 minutes of this movie. And it makes me question a lot. So first of all, this guy Richard, who is the guy, and Jennifer is the mistress, right? His friends are clearly sleazy and like kind of like pervy. As soon as they show up, you're like, nah, I don't like these guys,
Right.
Why the hell would he leave her alone with them? Like, does he know these guys? And it made me question a lot about like his character, because it wasn't quite clear. Because after the attack happens, he's like mad at them, but he like, was he that mad? It was kind of hard to tell. And it's like, did he care about this girl? Did he not care? Like, it was really, really hard to figure out what the relationship was. And I thought about it so much that I couldn't really figure out that if she was like his girlfriend or if she was a prostitute. I couldn't quite tell based on their relationship. And I found that very confusing, because I needed that layer to kind of understand this character a little bit more. I know his friends are pieces of shit. But I want to understand this guy Richard a little bit more, and maybe kind of see like, was this kind of like something that spun out of control and this is what happened? Or he didn't give a fuck about this girl, and he don't really care, that she got attacked. Or it was just really hard to figure out like his point of view. Um So I mean that's kind of like where I wish they developed it a little bit more. And with the hour 40, I feel like it could have been a little bit of background information there.
Yeah, so I don't think she's a prostitute. I think his character is that he just doesn't think women are like people, and that they're just disposable. Because to me, like, he wasn't really that even like mad that his friend raped the girl. He was more mad that it kind of like fucked up their day, more than anything. Because he was like, now I got to deal with this shit now. But I don't think he really gave a shit. Like, I think he knows his friends are pieces of shit, and I think he was just like so what, like, like because he went really quick to, okay, now we're gonna kill her. Versus like in a normal situation, it's like, okay, like, a friend of mine, this would never happen, but like a friend of mine rapes like the girl that I brought on this trip, and like, okay, now she threatens to tell my wife. My immediate reaction isn't like, oh, let's kill her. Like, you know what I mean? There had to be like another step there, like before you got to that point. Like, maybe I'll give her a ton of money, or maybe we'll just talk about it for an hour.
They
He
did.
went,
They did. Didn't they
but
give her
not
money?
a little bit, but like it was so like, okay, you know what, you didn't take that now, like, you know what I mean? I feel like they could have negotiated a little more before, like, this just happened. So the fact that he went so fast to, let's kill her, and then once they kill her, or they think they kill her, like, she falls off a ledge and gets impaled, and they think she's dead, and they're like, we'll come back and get her later. They go off and hunt. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even like they're that even bothered. They're like, oh, we'll clean up this mess later. So like, these guys are just pieces of shit that just really don't care about women or think they're even human. The one thing I will say about the three guys is they like, the main dude, Richard, doesn't seem to fit with these two guys. Like,
Yeah.
I could see
He's
them two
totally out of
together.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was weird casting because like these three don't seem like they would be friends in any, and he seems like rich and wealthy. They maybe because they're just kind of dirty and kind of like, they don't seem rich and wealthy like him. So it seemed like it was an odd trio of people, like weird casting, I think. But yeah, my take is just, and I think that's like the most evil part of the movie. It's like, okay, you have this guy who's a rapist. That's evil. His like fat friend like goes swimming while this rape is happening because he doesn't give a shit. That's evil. But now you have this other guy who's just like, fuck it, like, let's just kill her. Like, is the most evil, right? Because that's the one who like she trusted. So like, it makes it really hard to kind of watch, and you do want to see these guys
Oh yeah.
die horrific deaths. And they do. I wish the first
Luckily.
death was a little more brutal. Even though he does get stabbed in the eyes, I kind of wanted more torture. I don't know. I just wanted more. But the other two are really brutal too. So look, this movie, it is very bloody. It is very violent when it gets there. One thing that I thought was a really cool technique that I don't think I've ever seen in a movie before. The very end of the movie, Richard and Jennifer are like fighting it out, and she's all fucked up, and she's like, you see from her point of view of him like strangling her, and there's like blood covering her eyes, and you
Mm.
see blood covering the camera. I thought that was really cool. I'd never seen that before. So there's definitely some awesome stuff in this movie. It is hard to watch. I will say there's a scene where one of the men steps on glass, and the glass
That was
goes
one of
in
the
his
ones.
foot, and the guy like spends probably 2 minutes digging this glass out of his foot, and it was so gross and gnarly. It was like over the top.
You see
It was
like
like,
inside foot.
yeah, it was like so disgusting, and like it was like really just excessive, but like that was so fucking
It
gross.
was,
Like, and it goes on for a while, and it's like you gotta like look away. It was like really nice. If you want to see something gross, like that's this movie.
and at first you're like, hell yeah, man, this fucking asshole, he's that good,
Yeah.
good for him. And then all of a sudden it's like he spends like you think it's gonna take like 3 seconds, which would have been pretty bad for him to pull the shards of glass out. I mean, Rich is right. It probably took like a full 2 minutes, and it's like a close up of like the inside of this guy's foot, like digging out a giant shard of glass. And like honestly, I might have puked if
Yeah.
I
It was
like
gross. It was
it was
disgusting.
it was so bad, and they do that really well in this film. They basically put the camera on all the things you don't want to see when it comes to the gore, and they don't give you a break. She doesn't pull away and let you kind of catch your breath. They just put it like put that evil, put that gore right in front of your face, and she makes you watch it. And not only were the visuals good, but I definitely want to talk about when Jennifer did, get pushed off the cliff and she was impaled. That whole scene of her trying to kind of get
Oh, the
off that,
sounds.
the sound, I like, they must have, you would be like, nah, the sound. What could that do? It was worse than seeing it somehow. Somehow it was just worse than seeing it because now, even if I didn't look, I could hear it. So I'm like looking at my phone, I'm looking at the wall, I'm looking at a piece of paper, I'm
And
looking
it's
at
like
my cat,
squish,
but it's just
squash.
like
Like
this sound, and I know what it is. I know what it is. She's trying to get off of this branch that's basically impaled her stomach. And I'm like, oh my God, it just, and again, it doesn't take 5 seconds, doesn't take
no.
10 seconds. It just keeps you there, just dealing with it. And when you're done dealing with it, it's still there and it's continuing. And for me, that made this film like just so raw and just so like evil. And that was the first thing I said. This film is
Yeah.
evil. And that's why it doesn't give you a break, even if you want it. Like you have to leave. You have to leave the room, you have to fast forward, you have to do something, because this film isn't gonna let you off the hook.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the sounds throughout, it's really effective. The score, there's a lot of really cool synth
Oh
music that
yeah.
like makes it feel like very like big budget, big action kind of movie. Yeah, again, the filmmaking I think is incredible. I think this director like has a vision that's very different than everything else. And again, really see it in the substance. You definitely like can see that this movie like it's very similar in a lot of ways. And like you can see how she like just expanded upon that. It's yeah, it's visually just a beautiful movie to look at. It's so hard to watch though because it is gross, it is gnarly. It is, and I, look, we see all kinds of violence. We talk
Yeah,
about movies
exactly.
every
We're
week.
used to it.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, this has some stuff that's really hard to watch, and you do want to look away. But then, like you said, even when you look away, it's like you keep hearing like the sound design. You're just like you still want to throw up even when you're not seeing it because, yeah, there's a lot of things. There's like the other scene where she like like she takes after she like crawls away from the scene of the incident. She like takes peyote to like numb her nerves, and then she like heats up like a beer can and like presses it to her flesh to kind of heal the
Cauterizes,
wound.
yeah.
And it's
Oh,
so disgusting. And then what they did was really cool is there was like a logo of a phoenix on the beer can, and you see that on her stomach now as
love
like a
that.
tattoo, which was like a really cool effect. Is that like now she's got this kind of with her. Yeah, I mean, again, like for a movie with only four characters, any of which like could be like nameless, like it doesn't matter. Like I didn't even know that they had names, to be honest with you. It is really effective. It is hard to watch, and man, I wish it was a different story, because it is like just a cool movie, just like how it is, and yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about like, the character arc in this, she shows up, she's kind of like eye candy there for like this guy, and then she becomes like probably one of the most badass kind of soldiers I've ever seen. She cauterizes her own wound and she just like straps up with like guns and knives and she goes out there and she seeks revenge, and she gets revenge, and I mean she's just so badass like
no, absolutely,
at this
she's Terminator.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean she's not getting away like scot free. She's definitely picking up damage. She gets into a shootout and she has this massive rifle and it's like shooting some big shit, and she's taking like that guy Stan out, but he actually kind of shoots off her ear, and you're just like, what the fuck? And now like her hair basically goes from blonde to black from all like the dirt and the blood, and she looks like a different person. She can't hear. She's still kind of tripping from the peyote. She's shooting. I mean, it just gets crazier and crazier. I mean, she's running around the desert essentially in her underwear, no shoes, no water, really no gear, and she don't give a fuck, man. She's just out there to like destroy these guys. And to me, that was just it was just an incredible thing to watch on screen because you didn't really know. Like you're like, she's going to get revenge, but you really didn't know to the extent or the level that this was ever going to get to. And every single kill, kind of like you said it progressed. You know, you wish that guy Dimitri, he didn't get stabbed in the face. Pretty brutal. But you kind of wish that, but the next one was worse. And the next one was worse. Like it just progressively got worse. And it's like she basically enacted the revenge fitting to like, each person's role. So one guy got it, next guy got it worse, the next guy
Yeah.
got the worst.
And she's learning, right? Because
And
she's not
yeah,
like a killer. She's just a girl, like that just got pushed too far, and is surviving. Like they're hunting her basically. So she's. It's not like she's
they're
like
trained hunters. This is
yeah.
why they're
So
there. Yeah.
part of it is like her getting revenge on them, but also part of it is like she's just trying to get the fuck out of there. Like she's got to kill them to get away. So she kind of has no choice but to kind of do this. It's not like she's choosing to do it like in some of these other movies. So the stakes are really really high for her. And again, I give this movie a lot of credit because I've seen this story a dozen times, but I've never seen it done this way. And so, if you're gonna watch a rape revenge movie, this would be the one to watch, like because it's so stylistic and it's again it once if you could just like once you get past that part of it, it becomes a really cool movie. I did say at the beginning I do wish it was paced a little better. It does really kind of drag for me in some parts, and I kind of want to just like get to it. And a lot of it is some of these things go on too long, and I think again they go on long for effect. But to me, like, and I'll give an example. At the very end of the movie, it's Richard and Jennifer in the house, and they're basically both trying to kill each other,
Oh, playing
and
shotgun tag. That's what
they're
I
playing
call it.
shotgun check. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's what
both
I call
running
it.
around. They're both running around the house in a circle, chasing each other. But it goes on for like 2 minutes. Like it's like, and I'm like, could we just get to the final fucking
Really?
thing?
I was like biting my nails. I was at the edge of my
I
seat
was getting, I was starting to get
that
bored.
really that whole time. I was like dying, and they kept like showing up in that room that kind of had like that bullshit infomercial
Yeah, that was
in
kind
the
of cool.
background. That was
Yeah,
like kind of like that levity to kind of like
yeah,
every time you got to that room, it was almost like bass. And I
yeah.
was like, all right, now who's going to play tag? Yeah, that did go on for a long time, but it did give the opportunity to show a lot of man ass and a lot of man dick, which is
Yeah.
predominant in
And
this film.
there's Dick 2 minutes
There's a
into this
lot of
movie,
dick.
which yeah, there's a little bit of female nudity. I think you do see her breasts at one point, but there's a lot of dick in this
There's a
movie.
lot
And
of
and
dick.
and that actor that played Richard is like I would say the last 10 minutes of the movie, he's butt naked running around, which I thought was kind of cool.
He's hunted naked essentially, and you
Yeah,
definitely see like a flopping dick in the first kind
yeah.
of 2 minutes of this film. And for anyone who's expecting something, I'm gonna say it's not Kid Cudi level,
No,
but
he's not big.
but if you
But
want to see some dick in a film, then this could be your film. But yeah, I mean, this is it's a French film, and that's I'm giving it a lot of leeway because it's French, and the pacing in French films are usually really, really similar to this. For
that's
some
fair.
reason, every movie feels like it should be 80 minutes, but for some reason, they always clock in really close to 2 hours. I don't know why they do that. It's just like the style, I guess, maybe to feel like you're getting your money's worth or something like that. Maybe people in France like a longer film. Yeah, they could definitely have cut out 30 minutes. I mean, even though some of the scenes were like super brutal in the desert, they probably could have cut out like 10, 15
Yeah,
minutes
I think if this was
of the
if this was a
just
tight
driving the
90,
desert. Yeah.
if it was a tight 90, like I think this would be like way better. I think it's like an hour 42 or something like that. It didn't really need to be, but just for the story they're trying to tell. It's like this isn't like a complex story with, a lot going on. It's basically this bad shit happens to her and then she tries to, get revenge. Like so it didn't need to be this long. And for me it did feel a little long, but again, I get what you're saying. And I will say for people that don't want to watch a French film because of subtitles, there is a good portion of this movie in English. It
Yeah.
went back and forth, and I don't think the fact that it's a foreign language movie really you don't really need to. The dialogue's not like that important in this movie, so I wouldn't let that be a reason to not watch it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's minimal at best, like the subtitles, if that bothers you. If you do like these types of revenge movies, to me, this is a lot more watchable than something like I Spit on Your Grave or something like that. Films
It's
like
much
that,
better. It's because
I
it's
can't
really
watch.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't watch films like that. I can't get into it. I can't even like put it on for like 2 minutes. It's just, I mean, those films are evil in a different way, and it's just a way I can't even watch. But if that is your type of film, you may like something like this because it still has those really good revenge elements in it. And the woman definitely comes out on top. And to me, it's worth watching just for that. And like you mentioned, like, all the bad stuff happens. It does happen in the beginning, and they do cut it fairly quick, and they don't show that much, even though it is a fairly brutal scene. You got that fat guy Dimitri, basically like the close up of his mouth chewing
Oh,
on like a
that was one of the
mallow
grossest
bar.
things in the
And it
movie.
was just like, it's like that like if that bothers you, the inside of a mallow bar, get ready for the inside of a foot, or someone cauterizing themselves basically with a knife and a beer can. I mean, there's just so many fucked up things in this movie, and I'm gonna say the blood trails, the blood on the walls, the blood on the floors, the blood
Slipping in
leaking
blood.
out.
I always love when
There was,
there's so much blood that
yeah,
someone
there
slips
was,
and they
it's like
fall.
somebody turned on the blood faucet at like the hour mark and never turned it off. You're going to see more blood in this film than probably any other film you ever watched. And it's done in a realistic and brutal way. So something like, like we just talked about Evil Dead 2, where they hit like, the blood cannon. Yeah, that's awesome, but it's not really
It's
realistic.
comical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. You love seeing it. It's like, oh, look at all that blood. This is going to be so much blood. You could be like, oh God. It's like, I feel like this person should be like losing consciousness at this point. How is this person even operating right now? Everybody has body parts missing. Everyone has their insides showing, and everybody is losing blood rapidly. And it just makes for a sick fucking film.
And I read that they ran out of blood a lot while they were filming it, which again, like I don't know
What do
how
you do? You
much
go to
they,
the blood store?
yeah, I don't know how much they had, but just the fact they used it all, I respect that. It's like whatever you got, we're using it, and we need more. Like
So,
I
so
love, I love
who
that.
gets that on the set, Rich?
That's the PA. The PA
The
goes to get the blood,
PA? So he goes
or
to the
one of the
store and
producers
he's like,
probably, one of the
so
maybe a line producer
he gets the corporate credit card. They send him, and
to the blood store. Yes.
he's like, guys, I need like 500 gallons of your blood, and they're just like, oh, we got you, bro. Is that it? All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah. So like you said, movie's really bloody. Let's wrap this one up and give it our rating. So yeah. Look, here's the thing. Uh, I recommend the movie because it's so beautifully shot and the director has a vision and it's a style and it looks really cool and it's very different and like if you're gonna watch a rape revenge movie, like this is definitely the one to watch. However, like, rewatchability, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it again.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't. Maybe I'll skip like the first 20 minutes and put it on, but I don't know. So I'm gonna rate it a little lower than what the movie maybe deserves, and I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
2.5. Wow. Wow. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I can't for a movie that I'm just not gonna watch again.
I feel that. No, and that's important, and you always got to consider that. For me, it's super bloody. It's a French film. Definitely checks a lot of boxes for me. Shot beautifully. Um, I mean, I like the revenge part of it. I watched this film probably 3, 4 times already, so this might have been my fourth watch on this particular film. I like it just, and it's really because I like French films, and I do watch a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of French horror. So I'm gonna rate it higher because I did like it, and I think it's a wonderful film. Outside of the context, it's just a wonderful film. It's a wonderful horror film, and it's something that I think is kind of went, kind of under the radar for a long time, but you're missing out. Like you're missing out. It's a crazy fucking film. So because of that, I'm giving it a 4. I really like this movie. you know?
I can't argue with that. And maybe on a different day, like, and I say I'm not going to watch it again, but maybe I do someday. And because it is like a 4 level movie. It's just,
Yeah.
it wasn't exactly for me, but
Can
all
I
right, cheers
give
to
it
that.
a 400 gallons of blood knives?
I'm not doing 400 sips. So, all right. So you drink 2.5. I drink 4. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
And that is it. So yeah, you can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us horrorheadspodcast at gmail.com. We do have a St. Patrick's Day giveaway going on right now. We're giving away a Blu-ray set of the Leprechaun 7-film collection and a Terrifier pint glass from Abracadabra, New York City. If you want to enter that, you have about a couple days left. So check out our YouTube channel. There is a couple of videos under shorts, which will tell you how to enter. Very simple. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Women in horror, man.
Yeah, man. Great episode. Definitely check out the giveaway. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We need that shit. And I don't know what we're doing next, but I do know what we're doing next. We're gonna have an awesome guest and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I think we'll keep that under the wraps until we record the ep, but it's gonna be one crazy episode. So definitely in the meantime, get on Instagram, like our post, help us out. We're trying to do this. Hopefully you guys noticed for season 3, we're going hard. We're doing it for you. We're doing it for us. So, let's just, build this up and have a lot of fun while in the meantime. So thank you, everyone.
All right. Cheers. Have a good night.
Cheers.